Hello, welcome to another episode on the talk show. My name is Elijah Tanimola, and today I'll be discussing on the subject 10 signs your intimacy is under attack. The first sign is communication breakdown. You must understand that intimacy is built on effective communication. Intimacy is simply a feeling of connection. And how can I connect with you if I don't know you? And how can I know you if I don't communicate with you effectively? If I don't get to ask you relevant questions, if you don't get to rub minds together, if I don't know the way you think, your mindset, your ideologies, your philosophies of life, the way your mind works and things like that, if I don't get to communicate with you, I don't get to know you. And that is why it's very important for us to understand this. The moment you notice that there is a communication gap between yourself and your partner, then you must take note that your intimacy is under attack. That's the first sign. Communication breakdown. That is, you no longer enjoy the company of your partner anymore. You no longer enjoy the things you used to discuss anymore. You no longer enjoy the discussions you used to have. You no longer enjoy the way you rub minds together and share your thoughts together. You no longer find it interesting to discuss and to gist with your partner anymore. Then you must understand that your intimacy is under attack. The second sign that you will see is secrecy or lack of transparency. What do I mean by this? You notice that you start keeping things away from your partner, the things you used to share before. Now, I'm not talking about some people that have jobs that has to do with confidentialities and things like that they cannot even share with their partners. I believe that such partners must understand the confidentialities of those careers. But I'm talking about things that does not have to do with that. I mean, things about your movement, things about your finances. You are no longer transparent about your finances. You are no longer transparent about your movement. You are no longer transparent about your feelings. You keep your feelings. You keep a lot of things as secret from your partner. Then it means that your intimacy is under attack. When you start noticing that you start becoming more secretive with your partner, there's a lack of transparency, then you must take note quickly that your intimacy is definitely under attack and you must do something about it as soon as possible. Now, the third sign you will notice is spiritual disconnection. What do I mean by this? You no longer connect again spiritually. You no longer find it interesting to study the Word of God together. You no longer find it interesting to read the Bible, to pray together. You no longer find it interesting even to connect together spiritually. You no longer find it interesting to agree together concerning something that you need or concerning a situation in your lives. You don't find that connection anymore. Then you must understand that your intimacy is definitely under attack. Now, the fourth sign you will see is unnecessary suspicion or lack of trust. Now, because there's a communication breakdown, definitely there will be room for suspicion. Now, because there's lack of transparency, definitely there will be room for unnecessary suspicion. Because your partner no longer understands you. He or she no longer understands your movement. He or she no longer get to know your financial status, your mental status and things like that. Then there will be room for unnecessary suspicion. When you receive call, she is suspecting you, he is suspecting you. When you receive a text message, he or she is suspecting you. You know why? Because there is no transparency anymore. And the moment there's no transparency anymore, there's a lack of trust. You no longer trust one another. You no longer trust that your partner is clean. You no longer trust that your partner is not cheating on you. That's a sign that your intimacy is definitely under attack. Because when there's unnecessary suspicion and lack of trust, then intimacy cannot close up. Intimacy cannot even survive in such situation. So you must understand this. And the fifth sign you to know that your intimacy, you notice when your intimacy is under attack, is that sex is now becoming now becomes solely an obligation. What do I mean by this? Normally in an ideal marital union, sex should not just be an obligation. It should be a pleasure. You should derive pleasure in it. You should desire your spouse. You should desire your husband or your wife. That is the ideal situation. It should not just be solely an obligation. I understand that there are times that you don't feel like, but you are obligated to actually release your body for your partner. I understand that perhaps whilst your wife is pregnant, the woman is pregnant, but the husband still needs to satisfy his sexual urge and meet his sexual need. Then you can do that as an obligation. I understand that. But when sex now becomes solely an obligation, then you must understand that your intimacy is under attack. Because sex is not designed to be solely an obligation in the marriage institution. It should be a thing of pleasure. The husband should desire the wife should desire the husband. They should derive pleasure in the sexual act. It shouldn't be mechanical, it shouldn't be a forced thing. It should be something that overflows out of your expression of love towards one another. The moment you notice that your sexual life is now becoming solely an obligation, then take note that your intimacy is definitely under attack. Now, the sixth sign you will notice is that your sex now becomes the only form of intimacy. The moment you notice that sex has now become the only form of intimacy in your marriage, then you know that your intimacy is under attack. What do I mean by this? I mean, sex is not supposed to be the only form of intimacy. You should have emotional intimacy. You should have intellectual intimacy. You should experience experiential intimacy. You should have a spiritual intimacy. In fact, you should have physical intimacy. Now, the moment the only form of intimacy in your marriage is sex, then know that intimacy is under attack. Because when the only form of intimacy is sex, then it's no longer the ideal intimacy that you should enjoy. Because the ideal intimacy encompasses all of these aspects of intimacy. That is the intellectual intimacy, the emotional intimacy, the spiritual intimacy, the experiential intimacy, the physical intimacy. It's not just the sexual intercourse, it's not just the sexual act, the cuddling, the holding of hands. You must derive pleasure in spending time together. You must derive pleasure in understanding your partner. You must derive pleasure in discussing about your projects, your visions, your purpose together. You must be connected intellectually. You must be connected spiritually. Now, the moment the only form of connection in your marriage is sex, then there's fire on the mountain. Your intimacy is definitely under attack, and you must understand this correctly and do something about it as soon as possible. The seventh sign you will notice is the I and me syndrome against the normal we and us situation. Now, in an ideal relationship, it should be us. It should be, the word should be we. I mean, both parties. When you are talking about a project, we are doing a project. Both of us, we are embarking on a project together. Both of us, we are doing this together. Both of us, we understand one another and things like that. Now, when that's normal, the ideal we and us situation now becomes the I and me, then your intimacy is under attack. That you should no longer think about your partner. You no longer factor your partner into what you are doing anymore. It's just it's just me. You are thinking about buying something, you are thinking about yourself alone. When you go out, you are not thinking about buying something. When you are coming back for your partner, all you are thinking about is I and me. Then you know that your intimacy is under attack. That is, you are gradually separating yourself from your partner. You are gradually divorcing your partner emotionally. It's not everybody that separates. That divorce in the court of law that are truly divorced in their marriage. There are a lot of various dimensions of divorce that we see in many marriages, even marriages that have still been together. Some are intellectually separated, some are emotionally separated, some are spiritually separated. Now, when it becomes the I and the me alone, even though you are still in that relationship, then it means that your intimacy is under attack. Note that. Don't take that for granted. Be conscious of that. The moment you find out that you no longer derive pleasure in including your partner in the things that you do, in factoring your partner in your activities, in your decisions and things like that, understand that your intimacy is under attack, and quickly restore that intimacy. Do something about it before it destroys the sanity and the strong intimacy that you have built in your marriage and in your relationship. Now, the 8th sign that you will see is that conflict resolution becomes optional. That's the 8th sign. Normally, conflict resolution should be a necessity, should be compulsory. What do I mean by this? When you have a quarrel with your partner or you have a misunderstanding, the ideal thing is that you find a way by all means to settle that conflict. But when it now becomes optional, that is, whether it settles, whether it doesn't settle, you don't even care. You don't care whether your partner is happy with you or he or she is not happy with you, then know that your intimacy is under attack. Because in an ideal situation, I'm not saying that conflict will not arise. I'm not saying that misunderstandings will not arise and things like that. But when those things arise, a strong home, in a strong relationship, in a same relationship, in an ideal relationship, the ideal thing is to find all means to resolve that conflict. Conflict resolution is not, it shouldn't be optional. It should be a necessity. It should be something you must find a way to do, whether it is convenient or not convenient. In fact, one of the signs of maturity in relationship is that you find a way to restore peace in your relationship at all times. At all times. One of the decisions I made before I got married is that myself and my wife, I will not go to bed without resolving any conflict I might have with my wife. And that has helped with the sanity and the peaceful environment I enjoy in my own marriage. It's not an option, it's a necessity, it's a compulsion, it's something that must happen. Conflict resolution, it is a compulsion if we will maintain and sustain the strong intimacy that we ought to enjoy in our relationships and in our marriages. So the moment conflict resolution becomes optional, then know of a certainty that your intimacy is under attack. And please, do something about it. Now, the 9th sign you will see is living emotionally apart. What do I mean by this? That this you no longer enjoy, when you no longer enjoy the company of your partner. The company of your partner becomes boring to you. The partner that you used to laugh together, to have fun together, to play together, now it is gradually becoming a boring moment when you are together. You no longer enjoy your company, the company of your partner anymore. That means that you are now living emotionally apart. When other parties now becomes more important to you than your partner, then there is something wrong with your emotional intimacy. You are gradually living emotionally apart. When your partner no longer becomes your first order of call in critical moments of your life, when you are happy, when you just got a promotion, when you just got a pay raise, when you just got a new job, when you just got an invitation to show up on a big platform and things like that, and your first order, the first person that crosses your mind is no longer your partner, then know that you are now living emotionally apart. Even when you are feeling down, the first person that should cross your mind, it should be your partner to comfort you. When that is no longer happening, then you are living emotionally apart. Now, I understand that there are a lot of things that could cause this. Maybe your partner is no longer trustworthy and things like that. Now, it's also a sign that your intimacy is obviously under attack, because I mentioned that earlier. When you find out that you no longer have access to your partner's soul, then you are living emotionally apart. And that means your intimacy is under attack. Because you must be able to access the soul of your partner. That is emotional intimacy. When you find out that the things that you used to be certain of, the facts that you used to be certain of about your partner is no longer real, then you are now living emotionally apart. When the things that you know that your own, no, my partner cannot do this, no, my partner cannot do that, this is what my partner can do, this is what my partner cannot do. Now, when those things now becomes a mirage, that this is now becomes like you don't no longer know your partner anymore. You can no longer predict what he can do or she can do anymore. Then it means that you are not living emotionally apart. And it's a telltale sign that your intimacy is obviously under attack. Please and please do something about it. Bridge that gap again. Do something about it. Now, the 10th sign is making excuses to stay apart. A lot of people, they don't know it, but it's a sign that their intimacy is under attack. When you start making excuses to stay away from home, when you start making excuses to meet up with your partner in a relationship, when you start making excuses to boycott a date with your partner, when you start making excuses to boycott a time out with your spouse, when you start making excuses to just stay away from the company of your spouse or your partner in the relationship, then you know that your intimacy is under attack. I know that there are a lot of things that can cause this. Maybe the home is toxic. But it's also a sign that your intimacy is under attack. Do something about it. Whenever you notice that you are making unnecessary excuses, flimsy excuses that will always keep you away from your home, then you know that your intimacy is under attack. Do something about it. If the home is always toxic, that your partner is not giving you peace, your spouse is not giving you peace, call your spouse. Talk about it. Talk about the reason. Be open in your communication. Talk about the reason why you have been staying away from home. Stop giving excuses that it is his job. It is not job. It is not job. You also know it. It is not job. It's nothing than you are giving excuses. They are unnecessary excuses. They are flimsy excuses. Talk about it. Call your partner. Talk about it. Oh, I'm not enjoying the serenity of the home when I come around. Talk about the things you don't like about your home. Talk about the things that you don't like that your partner does that you don't like, and in that way you can restore and build strong intimacy with your partner. I believe that if you notice these signs early enough, you'll be able to take this attack before it grows into a full-blown attack and destroy completely the intimacy that you enjoy with your partner in a relationship and your marriage. I trust that you have been able to get something on this episode tonight. Till I come away next week, God bless you, stay safe and bye.